Welcome to a chilling exploration of the Zona Divas scandal. Promised modeling careers, vulnerable women were instead trapped in a nightmare of exploitation and murder in Mexico City. Stay with us as we uncover the dark truth behind this horrific human trafficking case. If you find this story as compelling and important as we do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for more in-depth investigations and true crime stories you won't want to miss. Our story begins with the victims, predominantly women from Venezuela and Argentina, who faced dire circumstances that drove them to seek a better life. In Venezuela, the conditions were dire. The country was grappling with severe shortages of basic necessities like food and medicine. The economic crisis, exacerbated by political instability, left many Venezuelans struggling to meet their daily needs. This created a sense of desperation among the population, particularly for those who saw no future in their homeland. Amid these grim conditions, many Venezuelans, including our victims, were forced to leave their country in search of relief and opportunity. They migrated to Mexico, drawn by the hope of finding work and improving their lives. Mexico, with its proximity and perceived opportunities, seemed like a beacon of hope. Among these migrants were women who were promised a new beginning. They arrived in Mexico with dreams of stability and a better future, only to find themselves ensnared in a trap that would turn their aspirations into a nightmare. Their journey from the precarious situation in Venezuela to becoming victims of trafficking in Mexico underscores the vulnerability that drove them into the hands of those who would exploit their desperation. The Zona Divas website played a central role in the trafficking scheme that ensnared many of these women. Promoted as a platform offering modeling and entertainment opportunities, it lured individuals seeking a break in the industry with the promise of lucrative work. The gang behind Zona Divas operated with chilling efficiency. They targeted vulnerable women, offering them false promises of high-paying modeling jobs and a chance to build a career. This deceptive pitch was designed to attract those desperate for a better life, often from impoverished backgrounds. Once the women arrived in Mexico, the gang's control mechanisms quickly became apparent. They confiscated their passports, effectively trapping them without any legal means to escape. Stripped of their freedom and documents, the women were forced into sex work under the guise of fulfilling their job contracts. This control was not just physical but also psychological, as the women were made to feel helpless and isolated, ensuring their compliance and preventing any chance of escape. The Zona Divas website was thus not just a front for exploitation, but a tool in a broader scheme of coercion and abuse. In 2017 and 2018, the tragic fate of 5 women, including 4 Venezuelans and 1 Argentine, cast a grim shadow over the Zona Divas scandal. Their murders added a layer of horror to an already devastating situation. The victims were found under disturbing circumstances that remain shrouded in mystery. The details of their deaths were often unclear, with little information emerging about the exact circumstances or motives behind the killings. The lack of concrete evidence and the opaque nature of the investigations only deepened the uncertainty surrounding these cases. While the precise reasons for their murders remain unresolved, the circumstances reflect the broader context of exploitation and violence faced by the victims. Their deaths are a stark reminder of the perils they faced, further highlighting the need for comprehensive investigations and justice for those affected by human trafficking. The 4-episode series Caught in the Web, The Murders Behind Zona Divas, also known as El Portal in its Spanish version, delves deeply into the harrowing saga of the Zona Divas case. The series offers a comprehensive examination of the exploitation and violence that marked the lives of the victims. A significant aspect of the series is its focus on first-hand accounts from those directly affected by the scandal. It features poignant interviews with survivors who managed to escape the trafficking ring, as well as relatives of the murdered victims. These interviews provide a personal and emotional perspective on the tragedy, shedding light on the experiences of those who endured and witnessed the exploitation. The series aims not only to document these events, but also to serve as a call to action. It seeks to prevent future abuses by exposing the realities of trafficking and encouraging critical reflection among those who may unknowingly support such systems. By highlighting the stories of the survivors and victims, the series hopes to foster greater awareness and drive change, ultimately working towards a future where such exploitation is eradicated. Amid the dark narrative of the Zona Divas scandal, there are also stories of remarkable resilience and courage. Some women managed to escape the trafficking ring, each facing their own struggles to reclaim their lives and dignity. These survivors' accounts reveal the harsh reality of their escape. Many endured severe trauma and had to navigate a complex path to safety. The escapees often faced immense challenges, including fear of retaliation from their traffickers and the daunting task of rebuilding their lives in a new environment. Despite these obstacles, their determination to break free and seek justice remained a powerful testament to their strength. Regaining control over their lives and bodies involved significant effort. Many survivors worked tirelessly to overcome the psychological and physical scars left by their exploitation. They sought medical care, counseling, and support from advocacy groups to address their needs. Their journey was not just about personal recovery, but also about reclaiming their agency and autonomy. By sharing their stories, these women have become voices for change, highlighting the urgent need for continued support and protection for trafficking victims. The investigation into the Zona Divas trafficking ring has been complex and fraught with challenges. Authorities have made significant efforts to uncover the extent of the criminal operations and bring those responsible to justice. Over the years, around 20 individuals have been investigated or arrested in connection with Zona Divas. These investigations have aimed to dismantle the trafficking network and hold its members accountable for their crimes. Despite these efforts, the full scope of the operation and all those involved remains a daunting puzzle. One notable figure in the case is Ignacio Santoyo Cervantes. Arrested in 2007 on charges of pimping and dealing in illicit funds, Santoyo Cervantes was a key player in the trafficking ring. However, his legal troubles were complicated by a lack of sufficient evidence to secure a conviction. After his arrest, he was released and is reported to be currently residing in Cuba, evading further legal action. The Zona Divas ring was not an isolated operation, but was linked to larger criminal networks. Reports suggest that the gang had connections with criminal groups involved in drug trafficking in Mexico City. This association with drug trafficking organizations added another layer of complexity to the investigations, intertwining human trafficking with broader criminal activities and underscoring the extensive reach and influence of these criminal networks. Human trafficking and sexual exploitation are pervasive issues affecting millions worldwide. According to the most recent United Nations reports, nearly 1 in every 100,000 people globally is a victim of human trafficking. Of these cases, more than half involve sexual exploitation. These statistics reflect a disturbing reality where vulnerable individuals are exploited for profit, often in secretive and brutal conditions. Recent reports from Interpol highlight that the problem extends beyond the Zona Divas case. In July, Interpol revealed a significant crackdown on a trafficking ring operating between Colombia and Mexico. This network forced young women from South America into sex work, masquerading as legitimate employment opportunities in Mexican tourist cities. The operation, which involved promising jobs as waitresses or hostesses, mirrors the deceptive tactics seen in the Zona Divas scandal, emphasizing the widespread and persistent nature of human trafficking. These statistics and recent cases underscore the urgent need for continued vigilance and action to combat human trafficking and support its victims. The global scale of this issue necessitates a collective effort to prevent exploitation and address the root causes that drive individuals into these dangerous situations. In summary, our exploration of the Zona Divas case has revealed a harrowing story of exploitation and tragedy. We detailed how Venezuelan and Argentine women were lured to Mexico under false pretenses of modeling work, only to be ensnared in a trafficking ring that used the Zona Divas website as a front. The subsequent murders of several victims in 2017 and 2018 added a grim layer to this narrative, highlighting the severe risks faced by those trapped in such schemes. The series Caught in the Web, The Murders Behind Zona Divas, sheds light on these tragic events through interviews with survivors and relatives, aiming to prevent future abuses and foster reflection among those who may unknowingly support such operations. We also discussed the ongoing investigations, notable figures like Ignacio Santoyo Cervantes, and the connections of Zona Divas to larger criminal networks involved in drug trafficking. Globally, human trafficking and sexual exploitation remain significant issues, with alarming statistics revealing the extent of this pervasive problem. Recent similar cases reported by Interpol further underscore the widespread nature of these crimes. Reflecting on these points, it becomes evident that there is an urgent and ongoing need to address human trafficking comprehensively. Protecting vulnerable populations, enforcing stricter measures against traffickers, and supporting survivors are crucial steps toward combating this global issue and ensuring justice for those affected. If you found this deep dive into the Zona Divas case insightful, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for more detailed investigations and important stories that need to be heard. Your support helps us continue to shine a light on crucial issues.